Yeah, so this is Vanguard Value ETF, and some of the IBD guys are following it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically the value stocks, right? Large cap value index. And so look at how strong it is. 6 days up right now, and it passed, it passed this like um top in August, right? And look, 3 days up. And we'll look at Dow in a second because it's very similar. And you can see this 10-day moving average right here,
Mm-hmm.
21 day, pretty strong uptrend. The 50 days starting to, move up now. The 200-day is flat, it's starting to flatten, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this index, yeah, is pretty strong. Um, I never really heard of this until recently. So that's interesting. Um, Let me just make some note here. Okay, so then we can go to, so yeah, so like this is VTV Vanguard. Let's look at Dow Jones for a second. Compare this. Yeah, see, very similar, right? But when you look at, let me take away those markups for a second. Oh, actually, yeah, let me take it off for a second. So yeah, you can see very similar. Um, it's almost, yeah. So this is only like 1.5 day above this high. But when we look at this Vanguard value index, it's like 3 days now above that index. So, very clean. So this value, large cap value is definitely doing well. And then we see this, this line right here too, right? This is the previous April high.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, kind of the next target here. If we go back to Dow for a second, that's this high. Yeah, very similar. So yeah, so that would be the next target for Dow, right? Um, so which is quite a way because this is so this week the good thing is it passes this 34,281. Right now it's 34,347, just a little bit, but it passes it, no hesitation. You know, my guess it might go a couple more days or 1 or 2 more days before it pull back to this line and retest this line and then possibly bounce off, right? That's kind of, if not, then they'll obviously come back down to either probably 10, 20, probably 10, at least 10 day, 21 day, maybe. I'm not sure. It's starting to slope like less, less steep. So possible. So that's down. And S&P is what everyone's looking at right now because of this 200-day line and also this big trend line here. So I think more people follow, lots of people follow the 200-day for sure. But I think some of the best technical analysts are more care about this high this, this longer term trend line, right? So the 200-day is at 4056. Yeah, so that's very close, right? Like this is 4026 right now. So only 30 points away. Like it could reach down in a day. But more people but like I say some of the more known technical analysts like Mark Newton, he said he's looking at 41, at least 4100 and something. So here you can see it's near 4108. Um, I think he said 4120 for him. So somewhere around there. So between now and 4120, yeah, it's not, it's roughly, couple percent maybe. Um, yeah, so like roughly 80 points, so around 2%. So they might move 2 more percent before we hit this resistance line, and then we will see like whether it, you know, bounce back down. Most likely it will. I think just because people is gonna sell. Um, so we have to kind of be kind of so that's kind of might happen, but it might coincide with like the news, right? So that's S&P, and then if we look at Nasdaq, the Nasdaq is is very disappointing because this week it didn't make new high at all, right? If I go back to S&P, at least S&P make new high, you see? So, but Nasdaq didn't, and so it's kind of now on this trend line here at the top. Um, and then you have the bottom trend line like this, so it's kind of like going downward, right? But again, we have to understand that we did come from this bounce that is very strong, and it hasn't give back a lot, so that's still a good sign. It's just that Nasdaq is still the weakest index of all, right? So, uh, so which means like a lot of techs are still kind of weak. Um, there is something good about something similar. Let me go to index. I think okay. Let me go. Sorry. Let me pull something up here. Um, go to my indexes here, and let me see where I can find it. Um, yeah, I can't find it. I don't remember. So there's an equal weight index, which means like every stock is weighted equally. Let me see if it's on this one. Oh, no, it's not. Maybe I didn't save it. Let me just look at this one. Is it this one? No, I think this is just Nasdaq. But there's supposed to be an equal weight one. That might show a better sign. But yeah, I don't have it here. Yeah, I didn't have it saved. But anyhow, so that's that. Yeah, any questions about the index so far?
No, I'm good.
So I think in general, I'm a little bit surprised the Nasdaq a little bit weak. Let me just jump to sector very quick as SMH. Yeah, see, SMH have the same pattern. It didn't make a new high on Thursday, and Friday, was down, right? Nasdaq was down and Dow was up. So again, the tech is just really weak compared to other, value stocks. Um, but it is forming this what we call a pendant pattern. So either it's gonna break down hard or it's gonna break up to go up hard, right? So that's usually what happens in the pendant pattern. So it's getting close to that, you know, to that decision. You see, it's getting close to it. So it's gonna do one or the other. So just like right here, right? So this is what happened. Like a couple of weeks ago. This high right here, it has to make a decision whether it goes down or up, right? And at first, I still remember this day, Wednesday, it went down, and then Thursday was the CPI data, and it was shot up back up. So that was like super volatile those 2 days. But you know, the fact that it rebounds this hard obviously took over, right? So now we at this, you know, we're at this level right here. So so this is the next big challenge right here, this level. And so this was the last level here, right? So the good thing is, like I said, it's this pendant is forming like really high, and so generally it is a bullish pattern to me. Right? It's in the upper half of this range. So if it was weak, it would have come back down further, but it didn't, right? But anyhow, that's the SMH versus Nasdaq, very similar chart. It's harder to tell here, but it's similar. Like this is kind of like this, right? So the decision, this week will be critical which way it goes. Um, and a lot of people on Twitter suggest either Monday or Tuesday it could turn. Um, I don't know why. I, for me, I think it's going to be, Friday, right? The job report. So let's just jump to the news for a second, because I think it's important to understand what's going to happen this week. So there is a lot of things happening this week. So we go to economic calendar here. So 28. So tomorrow, Bullard from the Fed will speak, and he caused the market to go down last time because he came out and say, oh, the interest rate may go from 5 to 7% at some point, like or somewhere around there, right? Like, it could go as high as 7, at least 5, and market like didn't like that, right? Another Fed will speak, John Williams. So two Fed guys will speak tomorrow. Uh, it could be volatile. I don't know. We have home price index, consumer confidence on Tuesday. So that's very important, right? Consumer confidence. So those two could, like the home price probably gonna keep dropping, but the consumer confidence, um, you know, depends on how if it drops a lot or not. And then Wednesday we have ADP report, um, employment report, GDP from last quarter, which is already been announced 2.6, right? It might change a little bit as well. Um, Chicago PMI, pretty low. You see, 45, under 50%. Let me see what else here. You have more Fed speaking. Oh yeah, Wednesday, Fed Powell will speak. So that's gonna give the market a sign what they're gonna do possibly on the 14th. But again, so many things gonna happen between this day and 14. This is December, no, November 30th. So because we're gonna have then the Thursday we have jobless claim, PCE, which is the consumer price inflation data. So that is very important. And then Friday we have the job number, which is probably the super important data. Um, right. And it's supposed to estimate to go down 200,000. So um, which is interesting because last quarter, last month it went to 260 and it was higher than expected. But this month is actually gonna expect to go down, and what would that mean for the market, right? And it could be a good sign if it does go down. Um, yeah, it's interesting because the Fed wants to see that go down. That's the one thing that they want to see, you know, because we know inflation is starting to come down, but how fast? That's the question still unknown. But they want to see the job number come down. So so you can see like Monday, roller coaster. Tuesday, maybe a little bit of roller coaster. Wednesday, another roller coaster. Like every day is just tons of data coming out, economic data. So I don't know. It's to me it's uncertainty, right? Whenever there's uncertainty, market will tend to pull back. Um, and kind of wait until the result comes out. That's usually what happens. And Friday will be kind of after Friday, then all this data comes out this week, and then it might be good for another, week or 10 days till the December 13th, which is the CPI. So that's kind of what my expectations are this week, is that it's going to be quite volatile. It might pull back more, at least till Friday morning. Um, and it could go either way Friday, right? Like, but for me, I'm more bullish on Friday just because last month, like I say, it went up to 60. The market didn't react that strong. So this time is the opposite, right? It's like they're expecting it to go down. And so if it does go down this much, the market might be happy. So to me, it's But that's why I said like Monday, Tuesday to Wednesday, Thursday, market might have a higher chance to pull back before this report and then bounce on this report. It's kind of my guess. Um, that's the short-term thinking for this week. Any questions about that?
No. Mhm.
Yeah. So, um, um, what else do I have here? Let me see before I dive into the stocks. Um, some people say the market is starting to climb a wall of worry, which is very interesting because that's a sign of a bull market, because that's how bull market works. If you go back to like, 2020 during the COVID time, same thing, right? Lots of things happening, a lot of worries, right? Now we have worries. Now we're gonna start to worry about recession. We're gonna start to worry about many things, unemployment, all that stuff. So it could it be that the market is gonna become bullish because too many people are worried now, right? It's kind of psychological. Um, but kind of retrace back. Monday was super volatile for the oil. I remember that day. It was down 5%, and then it recovered, right? So that was crazy. So let's just take a look at it. So this is the oil price. Was it this one? My sweet crude. Yeah, I think it has a big move here. Um, yeah, this one is not 100% of the. Let me try the US oil maybe. United States oil. Okay, yeah, so right here. Yeah, see this thing reverse. Oh, I was looking at the wrong day. It's probably this right. Yeah, this thing reverse right here. This day, November 21st. Yeah, yeah. I'll just look at this one because it looks a little bit. Yeah, so that day went from red to blue, down like almost 5% and then up 5%. Very volatile, but then it started to come back down, right? So well, that's not good. Yeah, see, Wednesday came back down, Friday came back down. Let's look at, so that's the oil price. Let's look at energy stocks, XLE index. Um, okay, this one looks slightly better because Wednesday and Friday it is still holding that 10-day average. Very interesting. So, you know, so that there's a huge difference between the energy stocks and the oil price. You can see this is, very strong despite, what happened with the oil price, right? So we can even graph this to compare this and go to US oil. Yeah, you can see, right? We went up here, and then when it goes down, oil price goes
Mhm.
down. The stock went down only little, and then when it started to go back up, look at how strong this energy stocks are. And then even recently, the oil price started to go down, but you look at energy stock, they're not going down, right? So it's the same pattern right here, right? So now this is happening again. So as soon as oil prices stop going down and bounce again, energy stocks gonna take off. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. So the only game here is patience. That's it. But the pattern is similar to here. So um so there's a high chance um and so and that's exactly right. We talked about this many times now. It's testing this level many times right now. Testing it once, twice. It's just holding right below it, like very close, right? And it's just testing this level, and eventually it's gonna break through and take off. And that's and then coming back to that comparison, um, it looks like it might happen, because yeah, I think I close it now. Oh yeah, right here. So so let's see this one. This is like right here. This is gonna take off as soon as this rise. So so XLE is much stronger than the oil price. So that was Monday, and then like I said, throughout the week it's just hasn't quite breakthrough yet, but it is holding. The energy stocks are holding. Um, this one, I want this. Maybe let me just double check this. Maybe not Nasdaq. Yeah, okay. So there is so the days are up for even for Nasdaq. Look, Wednesday, Thursday is higher volume. Then obviously Friday is only half a day. So but even Monday, look at that volume. It's much lower on a down day, right? So that's a good sign. Technically that's a very good sign. So that's interesting. Okay, this one. Oh yeah, so yeah, the oil price, sliding because the European Union discussing a price cap on Russian oil between 65 and 70 per barrel. And even Jim Cramer talked about this, that the chart is suggesting possibly one more dip before another big rally start, right? So really, we can go take a quick look at the oil price right now. Um, let me see. So 76, right? $76. Um, so it broken the 80, now 76. Um, let me just see how low the low past 75. I don't remember. I think it came close to 75 last week. Sorry. Okay, no, this is the lowest. No, this is the lowest since. So again, it's going to new low again, 76. So like I said, it's this is a huge downturn right now. Um, you know, I don't know how much more it will go, but that's what some people are expecting. It might have another one more big drop, maybe close to 72. I don't know, 73, 72. I don't know, or even 70, before the next rally will begin. So that's what some people are saying. Oh yeah, this one, Invesco S&P equal weight RSP. Okay, let me bring that up. RSP. That's my chart. RSP. Okay. So this is the S&P 500 equal weight. Okay, yeah, no, it's very similar to S&P. Yeah, because S&P also broke out on Thursday. Um, the equal weight means like the larger size companies are weighted equally as the less cap size. So it just shows, so Thursday it broke out Friday. Yeah, I think it's the same almost. I don't think there's much difference. A little bit better, that's all. But just a little bit better. Yeah, see, Friday is down, but on the equal weight is up, right? So that's interesting too, right? See. So what it's saying is this index is saying like the large cap stocks are not performing as well as other stocks, right, in the S&P 500, like the largest ones, but overall it is performing well, like the whole 500, like maybe I don't know how many percent, like top 80% or something. Like 80% of them are performing a lot better. So that's a good sign because we want to see broad market strength, right, for this rally to continue. So very interesting. Uh, yeah, we talked about value index already. Okay, so this one is a very big topic this week. People are talking about a lot of stocks are rising above 200-day than before. So let me just bring this up, this tweet up. Let's look at the chart for a second. This, there's quite a few tweets about this. This is one of them. Let me just open this chart up. Okay, so this chart is measuring S&P 500 stocks above 200-day average, right? So how many percent of them are moving above 200-day? So right now, you see this numbers, like right now on this chart, you see how not only did it breaks out, is way above now, right? 59% of stocks are above 200-day. 59%. Um, you know, and see it already hitting the same level as March top right here,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like the whole point of this, like, I think what it's trying to tell us is that the market strength, like within the whole S&P 500, is gaining strength internally, right? Like a lot of stocks are gaining strength, which possibly could mean a lot of stocks are going to break out if things going to go well in the next few weeks, next week or two. So, and that I keep hearing now, right? A lot of stocks are setting up, and so they could all break out, and that could push the market higher. So this is a very good sign, I think. Um, you know, let me go back. There's another similar article here. This one, yeah, I think it's very similar. Let me just pull this up. Yeah, I think this is similar. Yeah, this one, when it did it, was around 56% of the stocks are above 200 day. Yeah, this one is similar. Yeah. So let me come back to the S&P chart for a second, because so most likely, if I was a bull, what do I want to see happen? I wanted to see it, comes to this level. Obviously, I wanted to pass it, right? That would be the probably the most bullish sign,
Mm-hmm.
right? But ideally, most likely, realistically what will happen is it'll go to this line, and you see how this 200 days is just sitting right here, like I say, around 40, 50, right? And we passed the 4,000, so we successfully test the 4,000 now, right? Because we passed 4,000, we pull back, now we bounce back above and make a new high on Friday. So that's the successful test. Not saying it won't come back down. Just saying at least it tests more than once now and it's successful. So now if it has a higher chance of going higher, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to go up past this line or near that line, and then pull back, maybe even below this 200 day to this level around 450, 4050 or 4026, and then before it bounce again, right? That's the realistic scenario that might happen. But for me, because the unemployment report on Friday is so important, it could possibly be another alternative scenario, which is something like this, right? Where the market pulled back for a few days this week, and this is what I think most likely could happen if the number on Friday is good, is that we'll have another big jump like this, right? So it could even go sideways back to 4,000, and then unemployment report comes out and it's much weaker than expected. It could jump like 3-4%, and then we'll pass this level. We'll pass 4,200 easily. Um, Something like that. Um, that could be another scenario. But ultimately we. So again, we talked about this already. A lot of analysts, bullish analysts, target end of year is around this range, 43.25 to 4,400. That's between that range. So we have roughly a month left of trading because there's some holidays in there. So that's kind of kind of what I'm still anticipating is that some yeah I still think we're gonna take this week to digest, and then Friday it might break out, and then from here going into December for the next 2 weeks before the 13th, it moves up to this level, right? And then CPI data comes out, and then next day is the Fed day, so 13 and 14, and those 2 days will be very critical. Um, but more likely the 13 will be the it will be a precursor to what happened on the 14th. Um, so that's kind of my take. That's what I'm hoping for. This might be the best case scenario right now. Or it starts to break down, right? In December. So, right. In order, but for me, I think in order for that to happen, something really drastic, like meaning like inflation has to be, something has to prove that inflation is not going down, which to me is unlikely, right? Like nothing that will, there's no data that come out will say do that, right? So even if the Fed come out and say it, I think the market, like even with this week, like even if Fed Powell comes out and say, oh, data is not really, how is it, providing enough proof that inflation is going down fast enough. He might come to say that, and then we'll say, oh, we'll continue with rate hikes, blah blah blah, which is 50 points. Everyone now expect 50 points, so nothing new, right? Everything is expected. Um,
Yeah.
so it's all good. It's all good. So I can't see the market going down right here, but it could slowly drip down. Um, and let's say Friday's number wasn't good and job number jumps again, and and then market might start to go down there, right? Uh, so, but other than that, I don't know. It's kind of, there's a reason why people call December a Santa rally, right? Most likely happen because there's usually not much things happening. So so everything seems to be expected right now. So I'm still quite bullish, like I said, towards you know closer to the at least till December 13th right here. That's probably where I'll be more critical about um taking a lot of profit. Um, you know, yeah, you know. So that's kind of where things at. Any questions on that?
No, it sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
So basically, bad job data is good for market
yeah,
because they might slow down the
yeah,
hike. Okay.
yeah. So you remember what happened on this big jump there, right? Like the CPI came down way more than people thought, right? It was supposed to be a forecast, I think 8%, but it went to 7.7, right? So that was that's why the market jumped so big, because it's like such a it's a good sign, right? Because it jumped so it came down faster than people expected. So the unemployment number will be exactly like could have similar reaction if right now the market is expecting 200, and let's say it went down. Remember last month was 260, so if it goes down to even like below 200, like 150 or 160, the market gonna have the same type of reaction where it could bounce quite strong that day, right? um because that tells the Fed that, hey, it's finally working. What they have been doing all year is finally working. All these interest rate hikes is finally starting to impact the economy, right? So
Yeah.
so that's
And
good.
then there is one more CPI report, right? Before Fed hike, Fed meeting.
Yeah. So the day, yeah, the 13th, right?
Okay.
13, yeah. So, but I think like I said, from even from 4100 to 1300 is 200-point jump. It's quite a significant. That's like 7%, close to 7%. Which for the stock market usually means, for individual stock might be an even bigger move, right? Um, but yeah, so that's kind of what kind of my expectations. Let's see what will happen. But I do expect the next few days maybe a little bit of pullback more. Um,
Mhm.
especially Nasdaq, right? Like, cause Nasdaq just really weak. Look, like it did make a new high, like S&P and Dow did, And look at this high right here. It's so low. Like it's not even close, right? Like so the market is just reluctant to push the Nasdaq higher. I can, and this is the trend line right now, which is not good. So, but SMH it is a stronger area, but again, same idea, right? Like it's not super weak, but the trend line is not good. It's going down. So it might be worthwhile to, if you don't want to hold this next few days, because like I say, it could pull back further. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it might be worth to take profit, some profit, and then yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my take right now. Is that if you had a gain, maybe take some profit and then buy it back. Uh, you know, either Thursday or Friday, right? Um, I don't know. That's kind of my guess for this week. I don't think it'll move much this week. Like I'll be surprised if it make a move this week, early on in the week. It most likely, I don't think it'll move big either way, but it has more downside risk to me in my thinking. Um, so all right. So that's the index, and the only others. So we can look at the three sectors that we were following. IBB. This one, which is kind of represent a lot of the big cap stocks, right? Health stocks, and a little bit disappointing because this day right here, Wednesday, I got stop out, see it make a new low, um, and then since then it hasn't really done much. So you know, because it was on a nice uptrend, and look again, right? Look at this range here, this range right here. Okay, so let me just draw it one more time. This is the top, this is the lows. It's good. The only problem with this like this chart, normally it goes up strong, moves sideways, that's a good pattern. The only thing I don't like here in the short term is that how this last 5 days are below at the bottom of the range, in the bottom half of the range, right? It should be like more like, kind of like this, right? But it's not. It's like kind of stuck at the bottom. So I don't like that chart. So whereas SMH, it hasn't make a low, you see. It's always a higher low still. So that's the good one. The other one is solar that I'm following. Same thing, right? Higher lows, constantly higher lows, right? So it's trying to break through. It hasn't yet, right? But see, this one is it looks slightly like SMH still stronger, but this one is also looking very good. So
How
uh,
about semis?
yeah, semi is SMH. Yeah, so it's SMH, same thing, right? Like I said, this one, you know, is still making higher lows. But like I say, I expect this one might pull back a little bit more just because it's tech, right? This week, and Nasdaq is a little bit weak right now. So because like Friday, Nasdaq went down. I mean, it could bounce on Monday. I don't know, but I'm just saying, um, you know, yeah, it could bounce. Like if it does bounce, it's going to be strong because this is the trend. It's going to break that trend, right? So that's kind of like I said, it's either going to pull back a little bit for a couple of days, 2 3 days here, and then like I said, Friday is going to be the one that going to either break out, and when it breaks out, it's going to be very strong like this right here. Okay, so but right now I'm expecting it to pull back. Um, but that's at the index level, you know. So we go. Let me see. Um, if I pull this report. Okay, so do you have you following any which stocks you want to follow right now? You want to chat about?
Yeah, I'm not in many. I'm mostly in GFS, SMCI.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe Tesla as well.
Which one? Tesla?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's look at Tesla before we look at this list. I don't know why it's taking so long. Hold on. Tesla. So Tesla, you know, we saw Monday it fell. What was the news again? There was something, right? Uh, I can't remember. But then it bounced Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. It didn't. It just kind of went sideways, right? So the biggest problem you can see from this chart is finding resistance at the 10-day, right? The green line. That's the biggest problem, right? So this is it. This is like here you can see how many times it tried, couldn't break it. Here only once it just nick it and come back down. Now here we're sitting at this level right now. Look, this 2 days, right? Just Wednesday and Friday. So I don't know if it's gonna break above 10-day. So here is the 10-day. So it hasn't broken above 10-day decisively, right? Decisively, and not just intraday,
Yeah.
but at closing. I'm just looking at it like it's hard to see, but it hasn't broken above it decisively since like uh mid-September. Wow. So that's a long time. That's crazy actually. I didn't even know that. I know it's bad. I just didn't know it's that
Yeah.
bad. You know, like look at this trend line. Like if I draw a trend line right now, this is the slope. This is the slope. It's like a 45-degree angle slope.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So now we are 2 days at the 10-day again. Is it gonna drop again? You know, a lot of people. Um, I know this anyway. I don't know like if it's true or not, but I notice more hedge fund managers, like at least one or two that came out this week, and say they're shorting Tesla, like being public about it. You know, um, usually, you know, when they do that, like I don't like it because that's kind of like showing your cards, right? Um, you know, but I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. But I just know that, you know, there is lots of people shorting this thing right now. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So it could go further down if more and more people short this stock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem with the stock right now. Um, but the 10-day seems to be like the resistance right now. If it does break above it and decisively at closing still above it, then maybe there's a chance. You know, otherwise I wouldn't touch this. But shorting might be a good point to short right now, right? Because the chance of it going down is higher based on this trend, you know. And
Yeah.
right now it's just sitting at this trend line too, right? So um I don't know like so many people are watching this stock that it's hard to say who's gonna win and end. But right now the trend is down. So and people who short look at like this trend, like as soon as they start dropping, it drop fast. Look at that, right? And then look at this, right? And look at this. So um, is there one more possible? Who knows, right? 182 right now. I think it hit a low like what 170. Let's see, 167. So it hit a low 167. Um, but yeah, I don't know what to make of it. It's the problem obviously the fact that Musk is kind of only focusing on Twitter and not too much on Tesla is kind of worrisome to me. That's what
Yeah.
you know I don't know. This is my, like I'm just saying this, right? Like I was just having this discussion yesterday with a friend. Tesla is worth how much? Okay, let's just take a quick look in. Okay, it's down. It used to be 1 trillion, but now it's 577. Mm, he has I don't know how many percent like of it, but at least let's just say he has like 80 billion of this 500. I don't know how many percent he has, um, or even more. Like I don't know. Let me just quickly Google. It's good to it's because I think it's important to know this. Mass ownership.
It's
Okay, 25%.
20. Yeah, I was hoping 30%, but then he sold.
Okay, let's just say that that's roughly 25 billion, something like that, right? So and the market cap has dropped from that, right? So it used to be 1 trillion. So like I said, now he lost half of that, right? Oh yeah, like yeah, 50%, half of that, right? So
125 million.
yeah, so so the fact that okay, I'm just using logical, right? I don't know if this even makes sense to you, but this is the discussion I was having. If if you have a company worth 200 billion, like you have 200 billion net worth from that company, and you went and buy Twitter 44 billion, which is roughly one fifth of that money,
Mhm.
and if you move over to that company and become full-time CEO there, you risking you know 150 whatever 200 billion versus 44 billion. Like,
Right.
why would you do that? Is what I'm trying to ask, right? Like, and so that's a very big um question mark for me. And you know, because Tesla have much more potential, right, to make more money, but yet he's not focusing on that. He's focusing on Twitter. Now, so then the question comes next is like, okay, what's going to happen to Tesla if he continues to only focus on Twitter next year, right? So those are the kind of questions I will ask, right, as an investor, but some people focus more on the fundamentals. So the hedge fund guy that I told you that I saw on Twitter, he said that, well, I don't remember his name, but he said that the reason he's shorting Tesla is only one reason. The market is expecting Tesla to grow 50% a year for the next 10 years. So if I go look at Tesla, if I can find it, Tesla, oops, sorry, where am I? Tesla, let's see. It should be hmm, is it not on my list? Let me add it to my list here. It is in the list. I just have to find it. I thought it was around 50%. Yeah, right here, 53%. See?
Okay.
So next quarter expected 50%. Like you see, 58, 69, 53, right? It's growing like past 50%, right? On earnings. So he's saying the market expecting them to grow 50% every year for the next 10 years. Can they do that? The only reason he what he said was like, obviously this is Twitter, right? So it's only like a one line. He said that if Tesla do that, let's just say if they did that, there will be the biggest car manufacturer in the world in 10 years from now. So you have to ask yourself that question. Do you believe in
Mhm.
that? Right? He doesn't believe in that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I had to stop.
So, but the markets, like what he's saying is that market has already priced that in. That's what Tesla is evaluated based on. So if they can't do that in the next 10 years, then this stock is not even worth close to what it says it is, right? So I don't know. So anyhow, that's kind of um, you know, but the problem is, this is really bad, right? Like it broke this. See, this week it broke it, the long-term trend line, right? So this is what? How many years is this? Since 20 December 20.
Wow.
right? It's almost, yeah, it's 2 years, 2 years trend line. It broke it. So, you know, that's really bad. That means everyone who bought in the last 2 years is now underwater, right? And you don't even have to buy at the top, but if you buy somewhere in between here, you are under now. You are in negative territory. So, 2 years, wow, that's a long time. And so now, we're coming back to this long, big gain here from back in the COVID time that year, right? Now, again, it probably will drop further, but the question is, how far will it drop, right? No one really knows. That's the big question. Yeah. And then you kind of have to ask the question, like, to me, right now, unless we're in a bull market, right, then Tesla might have, potential, you know can grow again. But because right now we're not in the bull market, I think, like, again, it comes back to evaluation, right? It says here PE is 49. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. So that's Tesla. Any other thoughts about it?
No, no, sounds good.
Okay.
How about Enphase?
Okay, end phase. Um, yeah, let me see. Okay. Just want to pull up this report for a second. Oh, let's see. Okay. I like to see, like, when I look at stocks, I like to see where it ranks in terms of performance, right? Because I really want to focus on the top, you know, 20 or 30 stocks. Like, I mean, you can look at the top 50, but I'm just saying in general, I like to look at the best of the best. So, Enphase here, 30, ranked 38 on my list, right? Um, yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So, so let's go take a look at it. Okay. So yeah, here's a nice cup and handle. I think we talked about this last week. It's starting to look like it wants to break out, and it start make like, and this is the key sign right here. It start making higher lows, right? And then even on Friday it bounced off again. So that's a really good sign. See, but it's still hugging the 10-day, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with hugging 10-day, right? So this is the 10-day line right there. So this is the slope of this uptrend right now. Um, yeah, it looks good to me. We're still waiting for this breakout right here, 324.84. And yeah, I think as soon as it break out, like I say, I think this time it might work. You know, it might work. I like the pattern, especially when you look at the weekly. It's just really nice, tight cup, and going sideways the last 2 weeks. Um, even though it couldn't break out, but it's making higher lows. Um, yeah, it's nice. I like it. Yeah. Um, Let me see. Like, I'm just gonna, since we're talking about entries, let me just pull all the commodity related stuff here. So this is the ranking right now. You can see energy, solar, right? SHLS, array, run, sun power. So these are all performing better than Enphase right now. Okay, right? You see that? So what I'm trying to say is, and I don't have First Solar. I probably should add it to this list. But First Solar is I think the number one. But the forecast earnings, like I said before, is not the highest. But the market like this stock, right? I don't like, maybe they anticipate something better, right? Look at how strong this uptrend is. Um,
Wow.
Yeah, look at this. It broke out right here. It pulls back and then bounce up, right? And that's the typical pattern, right? Breaks out, pull back to the breakout line, and then bounce up. So yeah, first soul is by far the number one. But shows is pretty strong. Breaks out. See, look. I always talk about this, right? Breaks out, and then you know makes higher low every single day. Okay, and then more importantly,
Mhm.
on the day it goes down. Look at those 3 days it go down. It usually, like I said, it would come back to test that line, right? It didn't,
Yeah.
right? That's how this is sign of like someone buying this stock, like someone big buying this stock. Um,
Mhm.
that's amazing how it can hold up above that breakout line, you know. So now it's like 9% above this line, and then here is 20% profit. So that shows Array is the second one on my list. Um, so this one is look at this one. This one, same thing broke out right here. It's moving up nicely now, right? Let's run some power, yeah, and then the same thing. So, but like I say, I even though M phase technically is the weakest here, but M phase is just like again, you have to understand the characteristic of each chart, right? And M phase, the difference with M phase is when it breaks out, it does this, right? It does this right here. 3, 4, 5 days, will jump 20%, right? And I expect it to do the same thing here. As soon as it break out, it will jump 3, 4, 5 days, it will jump 20%. So that's just how some stocks, they're not the nice uptrend, type of stock, like right. It's not like First Solar, right? Like First Solar, you can see how nice this uptrend. Look at this uptrend right here, right? Look at this uptrend, right? So that's the difference characteristic of the stock, right? So you have to kind of play based on how the stock is being traded. Um, So that's the difference. So I'm not saying M phase won't perform well. It's just a little bit tougher because you have to wait till it actually breaks out. Then maybe it'll move, right? So that's kind of where that's at.
Mhm.
So that's why some people don't like to trade M phase because usually you get shaken out. If you have a tight stop. Uh, with stocks like M phase, you kind of have to trade more like a range bound, like stop, instead of like So for example, like here, yeah, yeah, but the range bound is big, right? That's the only problem, you know. So, but I like this chart right now because it's keep making higher lows, but it still hasn't broken out yet. That's the only concern. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, some people don't like. Excuse me. Some people don't like this pattern. It's called a wedging pattern. Because like the longer it takes to break out, especially as it wedging up, like you have to ask this question: why it's taking so long to break out, right? And so sometimes that's considered a flaw in a technical chart pattern, right? Usually when you see this, like you see this cup and it's drawn, right? You see the handle is drawn right here, right? Usually it breaks out, it just takes off. Like it shouldn't be like sitting in this handle and wedging upward for this long. Okay, do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, so that's the only problem with this chart, right? So you know, but but the key is still breakout. It has to break out. So anyhow, so that's that. Come on. Any other commodities you following? Oh, that's it. So CHX is starting to break down. Um, like you see, it pulls back. Not really break down, just pull back. But it's below the 10-day now. See, so this is negative. See, it was below 10-day, it bounced back above, and then now it came back down below the 10-day. So this is exactly like the opposite of what you want to see, right? So that's not good. But again, this is an oil gas stock, so it's going to trade based on the oil. So, but it is the strongest one, right, out of all the oil and gas stock. Um, but I'm saying like the pattern is telling me, even without the knowledge of the oil and gas or what they can do, is telling me that it most likely will go down lower. So yeah, so oil and gas kind of getting weak. And the same thing with ACDC. Um, right, so okay, this one is still sitting at the 10-day. Very interesting. Look, the 10-day. It touches it 3 days, closed 3 days at this level. Incredible. That's a strong stop. Despite what the oil price has done, despite what the XLE has done, it's just holding so strong. Um, and then TRMD, yeah, TRMD transport pipeline. Yeah, look at this. So if look at this bounce, right, off 21 day, perfect bounce. You know, so this stops. You can see they don't want to break down. They pull back, but they don't want to break down. It's like someone still keep buying this stuff, right? All these three are strong. So that's why we talked about oil and gas earlier. Like if oil can make a low and bounce, and then that was the low, this stock's gonna have another big run, right? So this is the big run. Now look at this run and look at how much it only pulled back. That's incredible, right? Like this is what could happen, you know, if oil takes off again. TRMD, same idea, right? Look at this one. Oh, it's getting stronger and stronger. And then ACDC. This is IPO, so this is the youngest stock out of those three. So same thing. Look at how little it gave back. This is the run, and this is all it gave back, right? I love this chart. These charts are really good. So anyhow, those are the three that I usually look at. Um, let's come back to tech before we look at other ones, because I know you following tech quite a bit. So SMCI,
Mm-hmm.
70% gain now. It's continued to climb, really strong. Um, so we had this 3 days run right here, make new high. It's probably gonna pull back soon. Um, but this is the chart, man. It has, and when I say pullback, it's not really, that strong of a pullback. It's just gonna pull back to the 10-day line. But this uptrend is continued to be really strong. Uh, AEHR, same thing, really strong. Yeah, this one is probably harder to hold. Just because it's just like I said, $20 stock. It's just more volatile, right? So that's why you have to play it based on the price. Um, Pi, yeah, Pi is strong now. Oops. Yeah, look at this. Thursday, Friday. Remember what did the market do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was kind of weak, right? For Nasdaq.
Yeah.
Look at this. Holding above new highs. Trend line. Crazy.
Wow.
That's right. Now, this is not probably not an easy stock to hold either, but yeah. But anyhow, it did break out. So, and this one moves really fast too, right? Look, this is the breakout line, and look at this, right? It's so fast. It gets to 20%, and then it
Mm-hmm.
digested. So that's something that is interesting too. But that's pi LGM. LGM is IPO. Right? More and more people are talking about it on IBD now. So it's starting to get too obvious. But look at this uptrend. It's
Mm-hmm.
really nice. Really nice. Uh, FICO is a a financial software stock. It built those FICO scores, right, for credit, and it has this nice earnings right here, and it breaks out. Look at how it trade. It just stick to this 10-day. Look at it finally touched the 10-day, but even when it touched, it's making a higher low, right? So that's exactly what you want to see on the technical side. So yeah, um, yeah, this is a just good looking stuff. So LSCC, Rhombus, and GFS. We'll take those. Look at those one. Yeah, nice uptrend. Rhombus. So these are all the semiconductor stocks doing really well, really well. Because this run is huge, and then it just give back so little, right? Like, see, here's a pendant pattern, right, following the index. Um, and then GFS, GFS, yeah, GFS. We talk about this broke out. So this, again, let me draw it better. Okay, so if we draw this straight line, look at where it's sitting right now, right? Every single day, it just sits above it. It didn't want to go down below it, right? That's strength. That is strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, in that onto, let me just see if any BDC, BDC, it's very nice too. Look at this, right? So this one, see, bounce off 10-day. It didn't want to sit below 10-day. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is, like I say, I usually don't buy because it's still on the downtrend, right? I need some sort of confirmation of new high. So like let's say Monday it make new high, then I will buy, right? So if I add the position right here. So right now it's pulling back still, but it's good that like that's the thing when they pull back, you don't want to buy when they're pulling back. You just want to wait until they bounce, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
best place they bounce is usually the moving averages. Um, I like DGI. I don't know why I do like it. Um, I talked about this before. It's a very choppy stop, but I feel like it could take off. Like so, this is the original takeoff right here. But what it did was what they call ascending base right here. So this is like a short base, and then you see how I make a new higher low, like just slightly. Look at that, 31, 26, 31, 55, and then I make a new high right here, and then right here you see 31.72, and then look, you make a new high, right? Ascending. It's like a staircase, the base going upward, and then eventually it stop doing that. So here, this is another one right here, make high, 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 like higher low, right? And then now you see it's not doing that base thing no more. Like I don't know, maybe it'll do it this week. I don't know. But at some point, it's gonna take off, right? Very rare pattern. This is a very rare pattern. This is signs of someone accumulating shares in this stock, and eventually, what will happen is that it become obvious, and more institutions will start to accumulate, and then it will just take off. Like it wouldn't even build this type of choppiness anymore. Yeah, that's why I like this stock a lot. Um, on On is I don't know. I'm a little bit disappointed with this stock because it's um it's very choppy. You see the action here. It's a good stock, but it's just very choppy, right? But it moves big one way or the other. So I think you have to you know kind of watch this, and it hasn't break out yet. So um was there another stock you mentioned? I forgot now. You mentioned GFS and
GFS and SMCI, that's fine.
oh those two.
I'm out of Celsius, but Celsius did a U-turn on I think Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was really interesting, right? Um, I'm just trying to see where Celsius is on this list. Why is it not on here? Oh, because I took it out. I think I'll have to add it back. Let me make a note. Yeah. So if I look at Celsius, yeah, very choppy too, right? So yeah, so this is the day that most people got stop out. Thursday was a big movement. Friday continued that movement. So it looks like it's trying to aim for this now, right? Right? It looks like it's trying to aim for
Mhm.
this
Yeah. Yeah.
this breakout right here. So so remember earlier what I said, right? When it like so this is the 10-day, and then um it breaks below it, but notice how it bounced near the top, and then it stays above it, right? And then Friday it stays above it as well.
Mhm.
Um so those are good signs because a lot of weak investors got shaken out. So if I look at on here, let's see what the signals show. Wait a second here. Okay. All right. So you see the white triangle right here? This one, 21st, Monday, it closed at the top.
Mhm.
22nd is a down day. Uh, okay, I know why. Even though it was a down day, I know why it has a triangle there. It's because it still closed above the 10-day. That was the reason.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So normally when the stock like go below 10-day, but then it closes at above the 10-day, that's a good sign. You know what I mean? Like it's like someone wants to buy it, right?
Mhm.
And then the
Mhm.
next day it took off, right?
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, right? Because you have to protect yourself from
Yeah.
stuff. But um, but Thursday is difficult, well, especially if you get shaken out. You know, Thursday would be the day to buy it back. Because how strong it bounce. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
And especially when it make that new high on, like, you don't even have to wait till the end of the day, but as soon as it make that new high, that's how I usually buy. Is I would set
Okay.
alert on Thursday's high. Sorry, on when was it Tuesday's high, and then because that's what I do, right? If you see the white triangle, it means that there's some sign of strength, but it hasn't confirmed. You need confirm with a new high, and then
Mhm.
the next day, if you have an alert, it passed that high, I would buy it back. So that way you don't wait until the end of the day to buy it, like, really high, right? But again, that's still a risk, because this stock is, you can see, this is why I don't trade this stock, right? I haven't traded this stock in a while because you never know, like, you know, even though it make a new high that day, who knows, right? Like where it closed, right? That's the check. Of course you want to wait till it closed, but if it works, you see, that's what happened. It jumped so much that day, and you wait till the close, it's already up a lot. But usually,
Coba memantapkan deh. Memantapkan.
yeah, usually that's a good sign. Yeah, especially this is like a shakeout and then a big update, right? Um,
Mhm.
because it wouldn't have that big update if um if investors are still selling, right? Let's say these 2 days here people are selling. Like this update wouldn't be that strong. And not only look at how strong it is, right? It closed above everything else in the last more than a month,
Yeah.
right? That's the sign, right? That is the sign right here. It closed above all these people right here who wants to sell. And then look at next day, it didn't even hesitate. Look at where the low is, that low on this day on Friday. It didn't.
Mhm.
There's no hesitation. No more hesitation. Again, it shows from Thursday how powerful that people buying, like whoever wants to buy that day, like it's just so how strong it is. So like I said, now is aiming for this now, right? Um,
Mhm.
and it could happen really fast, and that's usually what happens. This is similar to end phase, right? Once it breaks out, like once it moves, But when it's stuck in that choppiness, like right here, it's
Mhm,
stuck there for a long time. So, and same thing with M phase, right? Like very similar chart, right? Once they stuck in this zone, once they break out, it's gonna happen really fast. So so for me, I rather buy on the breakout on this type of stocks. Just because but yeah, if you want to buy, you could buy it back on Thursday. But now you see it moves really fast now,
mhm, mhm,
right? So um but it's a good sign though. Very good sign. Yeah. So that's Celsius. Um yeah, this stock shows up a lot real, but I don't own it. But it keeps showing up this last few days. See, look at this move right here. One, two, three,
mhm,
four. Look at this every day. It just keep, and not only that, when it breaks out from this pullback, look at how strong this is. This is a good sign of this stock.
mhm,
Like most stocks, when they break out from a pullback, don't do this. Very, very rare is what I'm trying to say. It's
mhm,
just
mhm,
so much power. Like lots of people are buying into this stock for it to move this fast. This is a small cap though, so that's why um I don't own it. It's really small. Um, but yeah, but it's good. It's kind of like AEHR, right? Really, like this two I have watched it for a long time now. But both of them I don't own. But it's $20 stock, not not as liquid. But they're both like pretty good in terms of like if you're willing to take that volatility into account. Yeah, this is number 16 right now. AD&T, yeah, this one also come up recently. I noticed it. Um, yeah, see, okay, this one is building a pendant pattern right now. Okay, but this one is a little bit choppy. You can tell right here. It's hard to hold. It's hard to hold, right? But yeah, okay. Yeah, retail did really well this week. A lot of them have moved up in ranking. Um, so interesting, very interesting. Especially, because Black Friday, and then we saw the news, right? Like it surpassed last year, which is unexpected. So I think Monday will open very strong for retail. Um, so yeah, very interesting. Unless I don't know, unless that's like how do you say it? Unless it's sell on the news kind of thing. I don't know. Let me see. Like let's look at Lulu for example. Um, okay, yeah. So see, it has come up quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Gaps, gap. Yeah, look at gap. Look at this. Wow.
mhm.
So it'll be interesting what happened tomorrow. I wonder if it's gonna be sell on the news kind of thing, or is it kind of buy on the news? Because all these stocks have gone up a lot in the last few weeks. I heard. Um, it'll be interesting to see what the market reaction to this is. You know. Oh, CPA. Yeah, CPA show up a lot. Let me see. CPA is I don't even know. Copa Holdings. Oh, airline. Airline. Look at this. Look at this run here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I break out from this level, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days up. Yeah, I don't have much retail at all, unfortunately. Um, yeah, let's look at industrial. Industrial is still probably the strongest in general. So WNC. Um, look at this, unbelievable.
Wow.
You know, hasn't even like this is the closest it touched the 10. It didn't even touch it. Just so you know, like I can see it on my chart, but it's the closest. And it's just riding the 10 day. Unbelievable. Um, Aeon, Aeon is kind of pulled back a little bit. Yeah, there you go. But even then, look at this. This is a 10 day. It won't touch it. It's interesting. That's amazing. Yeah. Um, HES. Yeah, look at this. This one touched it, but it bounced right away. See, it just didn't want to close below it. Look at the way it closed. It just want to close above it. This is very strong. Looks like this week they might break through this. I have a feeling. All these industrials. Um, look at this is TGLS, right? Like, so this was the 3-day run. Now it pulled back, and look again, same thing. It going sideways, way above the 10-day. So the slower it pulls back to 10-day, especially after like 3, 4, 5 days, is a really good sign that it wants to go higher. Those are usually how I like. Usually, normally it will start to pull back towards the 10-day, but you can see this stocks they don't want to, right? They just don't want to. It might eventually do it, but when that happens, it might be a good and if it bounces, it might be a good day to buy or add to it. Oh yeah, Boeing. Everyone's buying Boeing. Power Dow, right? Interesting. Look at this. Touch the 10-day. Here it touches it too. And then look now.
Wow.
Let's see what's the highest. Okay, it didn't make a new high yet. But it probably will this week. It wants to. It wants to. Yeah, Boeing. Interesting. You see these stocks, they all broke the 200-day trend line, right? Look at that. Like, you know, that's why I don't know. Like I don't want to think about it right now. Like I just want to ride this rally until like December 13th. But when I see, big cap like this doing this well on the chart action, it makes me think it's hard to think of uh to think that this is not a bull market. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, so coming back to the story about the percent above 200 day, 56% right now, or 59, depending which chart you look at. But it's like already back to the March level, right? So that's amazing. And that's S&P 500, and that's not just Dow. So 56%. So probably as time goes on, more and more it's gonna climb above that 200 day. And then there'll be, because 200 day is a very significant level for institution. That's like where the long-term money is, not the short term. Short term is like 50 day, but the long-term money, when people want to invest for long term, that's where the money goes, is this long-term trend line. So, these stocks have been sitting under the 200-day line for so long. Now, look at this. It sit under it for what? Since around September 21, right? So it's over a year. This is even before the December top. So now look at this. Look at this. It couldn't stay above 200 at the beginning. Look at that. And then now look at how comfortable it is above it now, right? Like, yeah, this is a change of character for sure. So
Is there any ETF for industrials?
yeah. Like XLI for industrials, right? There's lots. So here, see, it
Yeah,
broke above it, right?
it's a broker.
I don't know how it compared to Dow. Probably very similar. Like we can, right? But we can do a quick chart after this. LB is materials, right? Slightly weaker uh than XLI, but that's the materials, like that's what the industry used to build stuff. They're very related, and there's probably others one, but I don't remember. Um, yeah. Um, but yeah, if I were to chart this, XLB, XLI, see XLI is higher, and then just Just one second, let me just get the Dow symbol here. 0 digit. Yeah, very similar. XLI and Dow Jones were similar. Like I usually buy Dow. I don't usually buy XLI. So very similar. Yeah. So XLB is slightly underperformed. There's probably more, specific groups within those sectors. Like for example, let me see here. Which ones are leading here? Transportation, heating product. See, this one's very diverse. Look at this. Aerospace, pollution. Oh, this group. A lot of people are following this group right now because is it this one? Yeah, electrical contract manufacturing. A lot of people follow because there's some strong like SNM is really strong. Right, look at this weekly chart. Look at that. So it has this big run, and then this gap up. Now look at this day. Wow, it just bounced off it, and then now it's just staying above 10-day very comfortably. It hasn't mixed its strong bounce yet, but it is getting close. I think it's getting close. Um, and then the other one is oh yeah, February net or something. Yeah, February net. Look at this. Same thing. See, this is a perfect chart pattern. It didn't even come close to 10-day. Look at that. Right. So when you look at chart like that, easiest stop rule is just put it near the 10-day. And as it goes up, you move that stop to the 10-day again, right? That these ones are easy. Like for me, I find these ones are easier to set stop because you just follow that trend line because they don't they follow that trend line very well. So like um yeah, containers packaging doing well. Look at this. It's so diversified. Wow. Like everything is like doing well in industrials, right? It's not just one group, right? It's like yeah, really nice. Um, what else did we not talk about? Industrial. Yeah, financials are doing well too. Um, health, let's say the health guys, some of the big guys are doing well. The smaller guys are setting up though. The new names. Like let me show you. Let me see. Yeah, like MEDP. Let me see. MEDP. Yeah, see, this is setting up. So this is a big gap up, and then it's just kind of digesting the gains. And look at this. Look at this now, right? It's a smaller range now than this range. It's starting to digest it. So, but it still hasn't done anything yet. CPRX, I think this one start to move. Yeah, there you go. So this was digestion right here, and then it moved on Tuesday. I miss it that day, but now it pulled back slightly. Um, so and then look at where it closed on Friday. So if Monday it moves up, that could be another buy signal. That's CPRX. GIL is that so GIL is a big cap, and this one's doing well too. Yeah, GIL is probably look at this one. Same thing, right? Look at only touched 10-day once.
Wow.
Right. So these are like I said, these are easy to hold type of stock. Yeah. The other one is AMGN. So this one is pulling back now. Okay, so it lives under 10-day one day, and then Friday it didn't really close above it, so it's starting to weaken a little bit. Um, I think I wrote down some names here. Let's see. BIIB. Those are the big cap guys. Yeah, look at this BIIB Biogen. Very tight rate. Wouldn't touch the 10-day. MLK. Okay, this one is taking off. This one was a consolidation here. I got shaken out here somewhere. I didn't buy it back. I don't remember exactly which day, but I got shaken out. Oh, probably this day. And then look at it, it bounced off now. Yeah. Yeah, IMCR, Halo, those are new names. Harmony, those are all good names. Um, yeah, they could move once this. I think they all pull back recently. Yeah, this one, see, pull back slightly. This is probably a shakeout right here. Um, what was that? Halo. Yeah, see, this pullback. This one is look how nice this pullback is. Touch 10 day, touch 10 day, GMAP.
Mhm.
Look at this one, GMAP. Look at how nice. Like it hasn't touched 10 days since here.
Mhm.
Yeah, but this look at this base right here. Look at this one, John. Oh wow, it's a long base. Look at this. That was the last time I make a new high. It's been a while. So, but look at this. Like how many weeks up now? So 8 weeks up, 9 weeks up.
Mhm.
It's a mid cap, 29 billion, getting big. So yeah, all these are good. Move right here. Right. Uh, Financial is doing pretty good too. Like not many people talk about it, but it is doing well. Oh, these are some of these are Chinese name. Futu is Chinese name. That's one thing despite all this news about COVID and stuff, the stocks
Mhm.
are acting like really well. Look at this breakout right here. 3 days start, pull back 10 day, right? Make new high, you know, sitting above 10 day, looking good. Because I haven't looked at Chinese stock in a while. This one is number 5. Wow. Um, I'm just trying to see if anything. Okay, yeah, probably you know, uh, different sector. So this is China based, right? Like if I look at the solar stock, you see, this is what see this were the ones that were leading earlier. But now, okay, so this one pulled back, it bounced and then it pulled back. So that's not good. Uh, yeah, LI is the other solar stock. But this one's probably follow the solar stock. But yeah, you can see it's not bad. It's just because it went below 10 days, so it's slightly. Anyhow, I haven't touched Chinese stocks in a while now, just since May. Um, TPBK. This is Bank Northwest. I think this one's doing well. Yeah. So here's the 1 day touch 10 day touch 10 day. Yeah. I know. Goldman Sachs not on yet. Four shake out a lot of people, right? This week, I think.
Yeah, I wanted to see four. Yeah.
Yeah. See, this was the breakout, but it fell, right?
Mhm.
Once it fell, look at this. This is a big
Yeah.
loss right here. If you're holding on to it, it's a big loss from the breakout. Um, yeah. So one thing I didn't like about this chart was this. You see how this 200-day is flattening, which is okay,
Mhm.
but you see how the 50-day came up and then it also flattened.
Mhm.
It wouldn't pass the 200-day line.
Yeah.
You know. Now, of course, when this breakout happened, I thought, hey, maybe this 50-day will eventually pass the 200. Guess what? Another false signal, right? So it's unusual to see. So this is a good lesson, I think. I'm not saying this stock won't work. It just doesn't work right now. But maybe after this big shakeout, maybe it will work next time. Okay, so something to be careful. Like I think going the future when you see the 50-day stays under the 200-day and it won't go past it. So even if the stock does break out, maybe it's gonna come back and shake out people once more before it actually take off. So that I think that's what I learned from this, because most stocks don't do this. And so when they do this, I feel like it's kind of a sign that there's something weird happening. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, for example, like I show you the one that I missed at the beginning was this, right? So here, this is 50-day, 200-day, right? And so when it broke out right here and it went above it, that's when you want to buy. That's like a clear signal, you know. But most stocks will do this, you know, especially when both of them are going up. Um, but it shouldn't stay underneath for too long. Is what I'm trying to say. It should at least start to curve up, right? When it doesn't, that's weird.
Yes.
That's weird. So like hell is just another one. So this one, see, this one went below. It's still below, but it is coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they're both trending up. So yeah, I tell you, this sector, if oil moves again, I'm gonna buy into this sector because this was the one that ran really strong last time when the oil moved. So that's why
Yes, 100%.
yeah. So I'm watching this closely. If oil start to move again, I'm gonna get into this. I missed this one. I missed this run right here. It's a good run. Um, yeah. Look at this day. That was the Monday, right? Look at this bounce. But like I say, just because there's a 1 day bounce doesn't mean the down. In a bear market, that's what happened, right? You have those one strong day bounce, you know. So you can't say that the downtrend is over. So right now they're all under downtrend, all the oil stocks. So I would sit on the sideline until this upward trend line is broken. At least when that's broken. And even when it's broken, doesn't mean um the downtrend is over. So it's much harder when it's in a downtrend to figure out whether it's no different than than the index, right? Um, when there's a long-term downtrend, of course, always not in a long-term downtrend, but you know, it's gonna have more volatility. So yeah, so I think we come a long way, man. Look at this, 3,500. Now we passed 4,000,
Mm-hmm.
500 points in like since like what August, really early August. No, sorry, October 13th. Yeah, that was the bottom. So it's been close to 6 weeks now. Not quite, but after this week it'll be 6 weeks. So there is this downtrend. One of the things that people talk about, very interesting, is if you look at the last top, okay, August 16th. You look at the last top right here. Oh, this one is slightly different. March 29th. But one of the things so this one, like wait from here, June 16th. So June 16th, August 16th, 2 months exactly. August 16th to this low, October 13th, almost 2 months. Like minus 1 or 2 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. October 13th was the 2 months from October 13th. December 13th, which is the CPI day.
Yeah.
So it's been weird. Like this is so weird. This 2 months 2 months action here, right? So most likely it'll go something like this, and then whether it'll go down or continue, that's the question. This one is March 29th, so this one is slightly longer. March 29th, this downturn. Well, to May 20 here, and then this one is June 17th. So this one is slightly longer. But even from yeah, anyhow, it's just weird that it's like exactly 2 months, 2 months, and then this time might be 2 months again. It's just weird, so weird. Yeah.
So for SPI, are we not about 200? We are about 200, right? S&P
S
500.
no, we haven't. Right, it's black. We haven't. We still slightly below it. Like I said, we like 40.26 is the last close. 40.58 right now is the 200-day. So it's only like less than 1%, like 0.8%, right? So it can easily hit that level in the next day. But yeah. So but right now futures are red, see? And you can
Yeah.
see right here, unrest in China. I don't know if you saw, it was all over Twitter.
Oh yeah.
There was lots of protests. And
Yeah, and that's not normal in China.
no, this is not normal. So it's like and that's the bad thing, right? If the protests continue this week, the workers are not going to work. What's going to happen, right? Like it's just supply chain issue all over again. Like Foxconn last week,
Yeah.
right? So if
Mhm.
people start to like, and then China, like is now saying this is critical moment compared to the last time back in 1989 or something, Tiananmen Square
Mhm.
when people
Yeah.
protest. Like this is
Mhm.
could be turn out to become one of the biggest protests since that time. So and then if China doesn't handle it properly, it could spark even worse things to happen. So
Mhm.
um but back then it was the opposite, right? Back then people protest and actually the government at that time decide to change their policies. So it could happen the good way this time too, which is they might say, hey, they don't want the COVID release, or at least try to continue to lower their restriction over time.
Mhm.
But I don't know what's gonna happen. This is a big deal. But market is down because I think because of that. I don't know why market is down so much, but usually overnight it depends on China news. But if it recover by tomorrow morning, then market might say, hey, it's not a big deal right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
But look at Hong Kong stocks, 4 3%. Yeah, so but again, I'm going to be focusing more on the US side. Black Friday sales top nine. So I don't know if this is a sell on the news kind of thing. So that's why tomorrow is important how the market react. I feel, and because of of the calendar, it's just have more risk, right? The first few days, like I said, you have Fed speaking here, you have consumer confidence, you have home price. It's just so much news, right? You have Fed speaking, Powell speaking again. Like people don't like when Powell speak, okay? Because he's always so
Yeah.
hawkish, right? Want to keep raising interest rate. Um, you know, so I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling what's gonna happen this next few days. Um, and then see another Fed speak here. So many fixed Fed speaking. But on the other side, it might be good to hear all this Fed speaking, right? Like here's another one. So it might be good to see, some gonna say, hey, we need to start to slow down, and some gonna say we need to continue. I don't know how the market is gonna take it. Um, but this is new news. The COVID thing issue in China is new news, the protest. So that's why the market is reacting to it right now. It's something that was unexpected. Because last week, Foxconn, the Friday, it didn't react to it. Well, Nasdaq did, but not the rest of the market, right? Yeah, because Nasdaq went down on Friday, but Dow went up, right? So only Nasdaq reacted, and you can see right now, So that's why Nasdaq, you see, is leading the downside, right? Minus eight,
Yeah.
minus five.
Mhm.
So um, yeah, that's why it's much easier to. I think, like I said, I'm not saying tech stock you can buy. It's just it's harder to hold.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas like most likely what will happen to S&P is it might drip back down to 4,000, test it again.
Mhm.
Yeah, it most likely will test it again before it bounce. If I like I said, if it go below that, then I don't know. I'll be worried. Look right now it's 4,007, so which is down 26. So we'll see how it. I think tomorrow how it opens in the morning is important. Especially with Dow and SP. Nasdaq for sure will be weak. I don't doubt it. But yeah, go ahead. What did you say?
So 4,000 is important level for S&P.
I think so. I think so. I don't think it should break it by much. You know, if it breaks it by much again, then this test here is kind of not a good sign, right? Um, Again, that's why I said the next few days I don't have a good feeling. I think a pullback will happen, especially with given Nasdaq is weak, right? Um, and I don't and then when I look at this calendar, I don't see anything good will happen. You know, everything is just kind of all this Fed speaking because not one Fed is not hawkish. Every single Fed is like, yeah, we need to raise rates. Like if there's one Fed that comes on and say, oh yeah, we should stop, then maybe that's a good thing. But not one has said that so far. So
Yeah.
so it just when all this Fed is speaking, it just reassure the market that oh they're not gonna slow down anytime soon, right? Which is not good for the market, at least from a short-term perspective on sentiment. But ultimately, the market will move the next direction based on this non-fund payroll on Friday, which is why I said like I think between Monday and Thursday it'll be volatile. Most likely it'll be more down than stay at the same level. And then Friday we might have a surprise. We'll see.
Mhm.
So 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 coming back on I don't remember. Yeah, right here, right here. So remember S&P, right? So okay, let me just draw this again. So this is last week. Okay, let me refresh this page. So Monday, I said like it cannot break this low. That's number one. And so on Monday it was going down, and you can see it's just near the 10-day moving average. And so that day, and then the next day it bounced. Actually, that day I think moved my stops already to near that level.
Mhm.
Because if we break that level, like this Thursday's low, that's previous Thursday low. That's where I said it. I said so. If I have any stocks that are below that level, below that Thursday, I would move it all up to that Thursday low.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's what I did, and luckily it didn't break it, right? So it bounced back on Tuesday, Wednesday. Now we are critical level again, right? So it depends. I think at this point, I don't like I say I don't think it should break too much low. Where you want to set your stop is up to you. Like you can set it to Fridays. I think it will break Friday's low for sure. That's my so which is like say oh it'll probably break Friday. What was the low? 39.98. Okay, but I think it will break that. I think like depends what your strategy is. For me, I'm gonna start taking profit just because
Mhm.
I don't feel very good Monday to Thursday this week. So I rather take some profit, like not necessarily the whole amount, but I will be a little bit more aggressive to take some profit. Because I expect the next 4 days to be not as good. Um, but I don't think it'll pull back a lot. Like the worst case scenario is it might pull back to the 10-day, which is around 39.50, let's say. I don't know, maybe even higher. Let me see what the 10-day moving has. 10-day 3969 right now. So that's where I expect it to pull back to somewhere around 39.69 because it didn't break the 10-day here. It didn't break the 10-day here, and even if it pull back, it shouldn't break it. If it break that, then I some something's not right, right?
Mhm.
So I will watch that level, you know. But that's based on 10-day. But if you want to set a stop based on you know, so some ways you can do that too. But for me, I will be a little bit more aggressive for me this week. Like I rather, I don't want to wait till Friday because this is a problem, right? Just like last time, the CPI number, you could So I got stop out a lot of stock. I think I was only 30% in after this Wednesday before the CPI came out. I wish I had more, but I just got stop out a lot because that day was brutal, right? What was it? Let me see. Yeah, 2% down day, but I felt a lot worse than that for stop. But then the next day, it gap up in the morning, and that's just the thing. You can buy. I know you're gonna miss some of those gains, but I bought it back right as soon as it opened. So and you start buying throughout the day if you want to. It depends on how much you buy, right? So I don't want to wait until Friday, and it's gonna go down, pull back, and then Friday the number is not good, and then boom, it goes down even lower. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
But if numbers are good, you start to buy in the beginning of the day itself, right?
yeah,
What you did last
yeah,
time. Okay.
exactly, yeah, yeah. Because if you wait until the end of the day, it's gonna be like this, right? It's gonna run away from you. So like
Mhm.
of course, there's always a chance that market opens strong and then close weak. There's always that chance. That's why you kind of have to like assess what your risk strategy is, right? So when I buy on this day, I just want to share that again. Like what did I do? I bought here, right? Somewhere near after it opens and throughout the day. But where did I set my stop? I set the stop a bigger stop, right? Which is the day before, which is a very big stop. In most cases, it's probably like 5% or more. Okay, because I don't have any other stop level I can set. So let's say it did close back down that day. It didn't obviously in this case, but if it did close back down, let's say like this, it still wouldn't hit my stop. I would wait until the next day and decide if that happened. It didn't happen, but if that happened, I would say, okay, it closed lower than it opened, but it's still up for the day. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean bad. It just means, you know, people, it's just maybe the uptrend won't be that strong, and then I'll see the next day what happened. You see what I'm saying, right? So what I'm trying to say is like you don't have to make a decision and stick with it. You can change it every day. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that's how I usually look at it. Right? I know for some people that might be hard to do, and because especially if you keep moving your stops or take, but so that's why um, uh, that's why like I'll say one more thing, right? Before we're done for the day, like if I draw this out, okay, this is the definition of an uptrend. You know, after a downtrend, like of course it's not a straight line, but I don't want to draw that side. But after a downtrend, what happens is that it will start to bounce and it goes up 4 or 5 days or whatever, how many days, it'll go down, pull back, goes up, pull back, goes up. This is the definition of down uptrend. 90% of stocks trade like that. 90%. So when it goes up and it starts to pull back, your best chance, if you this is talking about short-term trading, your best chance of taking some of your profit is as it start to pull back. And then your best chance of adding positions or buying new positions is when they start to bounce back. There's no other way to do this, better. This is the only way to ensure you are maximizing your gains and buy at the lowest price. And now how you decide how much position you want to sell here, how much position you want to buy here, that's up to your strategy, what you feel comfortable, right? But in the uptrend, this is what happened. At some point in time, it's gonna break. It could break here. It could break here. It could break here. You don't know which one it will break. So that's why you can't say, "Oh, why would I sell here if I know this is an uptrend?" Of course you wouldn't, but you don't know that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
right? So so you have to use that's why the once you understand this, right, then the next thing is to use position to help you with risk management, right? So maybe you're okay with like, let's say you're up. For example, I show you like I show you my portfolio right now. At the top, I haven't open. No, I don't have it open. Let me just load it. I don't know what happened there. Because I think this is important, right? Like for most people, and I'm trying to get better at this too. Like I constantly have to think about this because if you don't think about it, you will forget it and you will not act on it. Um, so just yeah, I don't like how the future is red right now. So
Because China, the like protest is intensifying. Like everywhere, it's erupting.
hmm and people are angry. Like I saw some of those videos. It's not just like peaceful protests, they're like
Yeah,
hitting the people, right? With stakes and stuff. That's unusual actually in China.
and that
Because
too, like they are some places they are doing slogans against the current president, which
oh
is which is also big. I was thinking that's not even possible. How is that possible there?
yeah, okay. So I have it sorted by performance, right? Now, obviously, it's harder to do this if you don't have a gain. But even if you don't have a gain, I think like it's always good to take profit, right? So here you see SMCI is at the top, ML. Well, let's look at
Mhm.
those an array, those top three. Okay, so those are easier to look at. That's why I use those examples because they have good gains. So you're like, okay, if you have a good gain, you have a good 3 day run, you know, and depends where you buy it and stuff. It could be close to 10%, it could be a little bit less, it could be a little bit more. But anyhow, so you have a good 10% gain. Do you want to take profit, right? Like if it's short term, like for me, I like to take, you know, I want to take profit now, right? Again, because especially it's gonna pull back. Um,
Mhm.
and let's say you're here, and you don't, and you feel like the market is ready to pull back a few days, and you don't want to give back. You might not give back much, depend how strong the stock is, but it might also give back much, right? So then you want to sell, so you can say, hey, how much position you want to give back. So we look at SMCI here, uh, right here, and let me put back my markups for a second, because that's where I draw a lot of the trend line. So so I like to. So I don't know about most people, but I love to follow the market. Okay, so the market did okay. So if I go back to I'm going to use Nasdaq as an example because it's okay, maybe not Nasdaq. Let me use the strongest index, Dow Jones. Hold on a second. Dow. Okay. Okay. So remember, um, November 9th was the day before the CPI, and then it bounced. Okay, let me jump to yeah, and then it jump here, here, up, down, up, and then it topped right here. So
Mhm.
it was really short. It was only 4 day run.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so that was so coming back to this. So let's say this was the bottom, November 9th, right?
Mhm.
Then I go back to I'm sorry, where's my chart? Then I go back. Okay, so then the top is right here, November 15th. So here's November 15th at the top. It's only 4 sessions. if you don't count the day it dropped. And then it pulls back very short, also very short. If you look at this, 2 days, but that 2 day was significant for some stocks because the day before, even though it was up day, it dropped from the top to the bottom, so it closed at the bottom range. So you know, so that was the pullback, very short pullback, but it was significant pullback. So here was November 17th. Okay, so now then it bounced, and then we have one up day, one down day, 3 up days now on Dow, and then obviously Nasdaq doesn't have that. So that's why I say, okay, that's 4 or 5 days up. I think it's ready for a pullback now, and so I could be wrong. It could go another day or two, like it depends. But I think, especially now given the China news, I feel like I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And then the retail sale thing is very interesting. Why like it definitely surpassed last year's Black Friday. Um, but I don't know if the China news is more important or the retail sale number is more important. Um, for me, I feel like the China news is important because that's what sparked the inflation, right? It's all this, now it's protests. So if protests get bigger over next week, it could even be crazier for more companies, right? So I don't know. I feel like that's more important than the retail sales right now. And the market is reacting to it right now overnight. So we'll see tomorrow morning how it opens. But anyhow, let's just say you at this level now. So now we have this bounce again, and so November 25th. So now we're at November 25th. So so for stocks that now it's going to pull back again, just like here. You don't know if it's 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. You don't know. Or worse, if it's 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, then it starts to become a downtrend, right? So you don't know that. That's the thing, you don't know. So it's good to take some off the table, and so that you can at least have some more cash to buy it back later if it does go down, and also you're taking profit right now, right? So so that's why, like, this is kind of like what this is a short term, like I call it, like kind of like rebalancing. It's very short term, but it's a good strategy, so like you might want to do 30% or 50%, or even be really aggressive, right? Maybe even more, 70%. It's up to you, right? Um, yeah. And then also you can base it also on how much of a pullback do you think it is, right? Based on the current situation. For me, like I say, I think the pullback this time could be significant, just because Dow already run up, higher, and then also on the opposite end, Nasdaq didn't make a new high, right? So Dow already showed lots of strength, but yeah, Nasdaq didn't show lots of strength. Like Friday, like it couldn't make a new high last week. So, and then you have S&P in the middle. So when it moves one way or the other, it's going to move big. So it's either Nasdaq going to drag down big, or which is more likely the chance. That's what I think. So that's why um and when I look at it, so let's sorry, I kind of jump all over the place, but let's come back to SMCI. So now I feel like because it jumped, you see, it jumps so much so fast, I feel like it's gonna pull back, So it might not pull back a lot, but that's why I said, like, it's up to you, right? Like you might say, hey, I might sell 30% and then buy it back later here. It's up to you. Does that make sense? What is the other stocks that I'm looking at? Array, right? Array. Let's see. Array. Yeah, see, 3 day, 4 day bounce. Um, you know, it's quite high above the 10 day. So again, this stock hugs the 10 day. So there's a high chance of it coming back to 10 day. If I look at SMCI, okay, so it hugged the 10 day here, right? Um, and then take off. So it might come back too. And then the other one is I'm out. So this one had a nice day on Friday.
Yeah, AML. Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at the volume. Because Friday is a short day. Look at that volume. Wow. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, this is interesting. So this is only a 1 day bounce. So like for some stocks, you might also want to assess individually. Like this one just move only 1 day. I would like probably try to not sell this. Whereas the other two already moved 4 days, 3 days, like really strong, and there's a high chance to come back to 10 day. I would sell a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's kind of like how I assess it. And it's up to you whether you want to have one, same rule for every stock or different rule for every stock, or you know, it's up to you and how much you want to, you know, give. But if but the advantage of doing this, in my opinion, is that you're always rebalancing, and because not every stock, like of course the stocks that I'm looking at are the top stocks, so usually they don't change much, right? Like they do, but very seldom. Like if we look at the top 30 stocks, they most likely will stay in the top for a while, as long as this uptrend continue. Because we are already like over a month. That's why I say, right? We already passed a month since the bottom. Usually, the ones that are at the top, they don't change much because everyone's already seeing the same stuff. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be just one stock, right? Like everyone see the same stock, they all see the same one, and so they all how to say, there's nothing to change no more, you know. Um, yeah. So anyhow, so that's the kind of move I'll probably make is, number one, I'll probably like so you can either choose to sell or tighten the stop. You can sell on strength or weakness, right? Um, so Friday I trimmed SMCI 30% at the top. So I sell on strength, right? I don't usually do that, but because I feel like it was really strong, and and it also passed the 25% mark. You see this, right? Usually stocks pull back when it hit a target. You know what I mean? A strong target. So I decided to trim 30%, and I'm gonna move probably a lot of my stop loss to Friday like Friday lows as well. So you can start selling on weakness, right? So if it does pull back, you're gonna hit that. But remember, I'm saying it could pull back to 10-day right here, right? So I want to take more profit on. So I took some at the high. I want to take more on the lows, and then maybe leave. I don't know. Again, I really like this stock, but so it depends like how much. But I feel like this week is so important that I don't want to risk too much, just in case Friday's number, do impact the market. Those are so whenever, like, there's two ways to look at it. Wherever there's critical moments in the market that you feel like, like for example, we talk about this every week now, is the 200-day moving average, right? We are so close. Look at it. If you look at it weekly, look, it's so close to it, right? Right there, so close. Like you don't want to take much risk. Like the uptrend has already happened. If you didn't make money, then sorry, right? Like you just need to improve your skills. But now we're at this critical junction. You don't want to take huge risks here. You should be, if you have gains, you should take it and just wait, right? Because if this uptrend was real, let's say it does break above this and it continue up, you will have chances the next week. Let's say Friday report is good, you will have chances after that to buy stocks, and they'll break out and they'll continue their run, right? So you don't need to like take huge risks at this moment. This is a critical point right now, this week, right? Yeah, I guess that's it.